Hello and welcome to QQCatalyst. Today we'll be looking at how to generate accord forms and associate them to particular policies or clients in your agency management system. You'll have the ability to add a new accord form to the system whenever you're viewing a customer or prospect screen, or if you're on a specific policy screen. The option will be in the dark gray toolbar at the top of the screen. Now when I'm viewing a customer or prospect and I go to add the accord form, if there are any policies under that customer or prospect, the system will give me a prompt here. If I want to keep the accord form associated to just the contact, which it is by default, or if I want to associate that form to any particular policy under that customer or prospect. I will then be directed to the accord form library. If I'm viewing a specific policy under the customer or prospect and I go to access the accord form from the toolbar, it will immediately associate the form to the policy that I am viewing. And I will not get that prompt. It will take me directly into the accord form library. Once in the accord form library, I can scroll up and down to search for and select the form that I wish to use, or I can type into the search bar at the top of the screen. I can search either by the form ID number or by the actual name of the form to narrow down what's displayed, and I can select the form that I wish to use. Let's go into the evidence of property insurance form, and we can click next. Now the system will attempt to load the customer and policy information that we have entered into Catalyst. While I'm on the form, this is in an editable format, so I can type into certain areas of the form here if needed. In order to manage my certificate holders on this form, or to import or change the signatures that are at the bottom of this form, I have these options along the top of the screen here. If I select import or change signature, I'll get a list of all of the signatures in my system that are set up either in my location preferences or that are set up under my specific employee contact account. Along the top of the screen, we also have the option to manage the certificate holders on this form. I can click up here to begin that process. In this window, I can add a certificate holder manually to this form by clicking on the Add Holder option in the top right. However, if I have this certificate holder entered in my system as a certificate holder or lien holder contact, I can import holders to the form as well. So if I do select the Import Holders option, we can choose from the list of certificate holder or lien holder contacts in our system, or anyone that was listed as an additional interest on this policy that we were looking at. If we do add the holder manually, they're not going to automatically be created as a new certificate holder or lien holder contact. So if I know I'm going to be entering this information more than one time, I might not want to add them manually, but import them. So if they're not listed as a certificate holder or lien holder contact yet, I might want to first add them as a new contact into the system, so I don't have to enter that information more than one time. Now under the certificate holder contacts page, you'll be able to enter information on their description of operations and their contact email addresses that can easily pull into this section here. I didn't have any entered in on the 3 holders that we selected here, so let's see if we can import one more holder that will have that information to pre-fill for us. And I specifically added one here. I set it up with the description of operations. Test company. So I'm going to select this holder here, and notice how the email address and the description of operations for this holder is already entered because we have the information entered already on that certificate holder or lien holder's contact page. So if I need to edit the default description of operations or the email address that pulls into here, I can do so directly from the contact overview. For the other holders where that information has not already been set up, I can just enter it at this time. And we can click OK. So you'll notice down below the holders now listed with their description of operations, and we can cycle through the different holders up at the top left. If I need to edit any of the information or add or remove holders at any point, we can always come back up to Manage Certificate Holders, and we can make any necessary changes at that time. One other important thing to make note of here is that our coverage information did not yet pull onto our Evidence of Property Accord 27 form. In order to get the coverage information to pull in, it does need to be entered first in the policy details under the specific policy. One thing to keep in mind, if you are entering information onto the Accord form, it's not going to pull back over into Catalyst. Information first entered into Catalyst can pull onto the Accord forms for you. So I would want to enter the policy information under the Details tab on the policy before I generate the Accord form. Then when I come up into Manage Certificate Holders for the Accord 27, we will need to indicate the premises location for each holder. So as I go through each of my holders here, I only have one premises, so I'm just going to assign the same premises to each holder. But if we had different premises locations on our location schedule and different coverages for each premises, we could have the specific coverage information pull for each individual holder there. Any additional information we can enter here as well. So now that we've mapped the premises to each of the certificate holders, we'll see that the coverage information for each premises is displayed. If we scroll up a little bit, we'll see the location description listed here, as well as the additional information that we had entered when managing the certificate holder. If I need to change or remove the signature at any point in time or make any further editing to the certificate holders that I have listed, I can do so still. And if we look towards the bottom of the screen, we'll see we have the option to either print this certificate, email this out, or save this for use at a later time. If I